Welcome to Paper Making with Mark Lander, part 19. And it's raining today, so we might as well be inside making stuff. So I'm going to show you how to make a mould and deckle that has multiple windows, and you can pull 8 A5 sheets in one go. Pretty exciting, eh? We'll also get the old printing press running. So I've just finished fitting a new motor on it, so we're going to test it out and see how it goes. Quite an adventure. We'll see you soon. Right, here we have our materials, and there's 4 layers. The first layer is a layer of this plastic board, which is called Sinex, and it goes under various brand names, but if you Google Sinex you'll come up with this plastic board, and it's about 5/8 of an inch thick or 16 millimeters, and it's quite light. The next layer is a layer of 1 millimeter aluminium sheet. You can see that's stacked in there. The next layer is a layer of, it's like foam rubber. It's not the heavy black rubber, but it's more like a sort of a foam, but it's a little more rigid. And that's layer number 3. And layer number 4 is another Sinex board. So 4 layers put together like that. This is heavy duty masking tape, so I'm going to tape all those layers together nice and tight. Oh yeah! So what I've got is 8 A5s marked out ready, and I'm going to trace around the outside using this extrusion. So I get my borders right. And mark where the corners are. So there it is, all nicely drawn out. Now I'm going to drill me down some holes right through. There we go. Doesn't need to be right on the edge, it's just in the middle somewhere. A jigsaw to roughly cut out the shapes. Woohoo! Look at that! Oh yeah! This is a scroll saw, and it has a blade here, and it vibrates up and down, and we use it to do the fine cutting. So let's go. Look at the mess in my workshop. Awesome. This is a cool little tool. It's a rotary sander. It's got a little bit of sandpaper in here and it goes round and round and round. I'm going to use it to clean up the insides of the molds here. Makes them nice. Done. Ha! What we're going to do next is make a horrible mess with this tool called a router. And it's got a tip on it that spins very, very fast, and it's got a rounded profile. So I want to round all those inside edges, and oh boy, there's white plastic spread everywhere. It's like being in a snowstorm. We are ready to put it together. So our first job is to remove the tape. There we go. And there's our layers. And it's very important to mark. I'm going to put an A, and A. I've labelled them there. What I've got here is stainless steel mesh, and it's 16 wires to the inch, and you can see it's quite rigid. Right, so what I'm going to do is put this onto here. Then I'm going to use a sander to sand around the edges. Lower this onto that. Now, I'm going to pop this on top. Got bits on it. Yeah. Now what I'd like to do is put this aluminium extrusion around the outside of the mould to give it a little bit of strength. So this is a bit of aluminium moulding, and you can see I've put these V's in it, so very cleverly this is going to go round the edge. I'm going to put silicone on the inside of this. Watch this. Ta-da! You can see it's gone round the edge. Oh yeah. So what I've been making is A5s, looky here, A4s and A3s. Right, we're ready to start playing with paper making. So let's see how they turn out. These are mine. Awesome. We are ready to test our new Mould and Deckle. So let's have some fun. First thing I'm going to put on is my paper maker's apron, because the thing I hate, and it's just the end of winter, is getting wet. Once you get wet, you start getting cold. It isn't very nice. Right, away we go. This is my pulp stirrer. Oh yeah, look at that. Here's our first run. This is my vacuum table, and look what I've built on top. This is a very cunning curved addition to my vacuum table. So you can see it's got plastic reinforcing, curved board that goes on there. Blanket on top. Now we're ready to cooch our papers. Here we go, nice rolling motion. Woohoo! What I've got here is lots of cloths. This is bleached calico. I'm going to take one and put it over my post. What I have here is a rubber mat. See, it's nice flexible rubber. You ready? Here is my very cunning system for hanging these papers up. Now, in the past when I'm making small papers, I've just laid them out all over the studio floor, and what happens is every man and his animal and cat just walks over it. So it's like, eh. So I've devised a system where you can hang them on like a wooden, like this, and then just haul it up into the ceiling. Woohoo! this is an etching press, and what it is 2 rollers, and you roll things are flattened through and it squashes things. It's for print making and specifically acid etchings, but we're going to use it today for calendaring paper. So we've got our first lot dry, so I'm going to peel off. You can see here, look how nice and easily it comes off. So we have our first stack of beautiful handmade paper. It's got that lovely watercolor texture. So if I want to keep that texture, I'll just leave it as it is. So I'm going to make a nice stack. And I've taped plastic to it. So I put my stack in here, like that. Second board on top. Crank the pressure down a little. And my press has a motor on it. Oh yeah. And through it goes. Now I'll put lots of stacks of paper under here and do them all at once. Makes sense, doesn't it? And here is our paper, beautifully calendared. Look how thin it is, and beautifully flat. Beautifully flat. I'm really pleased with that. If you look over behind me, lurking in the corner is a big black looking spider. Actually, it's not a spider. It's a 1909 Eagle Letterpress. And I found it in the local junk shop, and the men there begged me to buy it. Please, Mark, buy it. Every time we shift it, it's putting our backs out, because the whole thing is made of cast iron, and even one little bit of it is a struggle to lift in pieces. So let's fire up, have some fun with it. Awesome. First thing we do is ink her up. So I've rolled ink onto the top plate. These rollers come down across the print and ink it up. The next step, wash your hands, because if you're handling paper with inky fingers, there's nothing more awful than ruining your own work. So here we have the A5 papers from our Mould and Deckle, and I'm going to just fan them out so I can pick them up. Just fanning them out like that. Right, here we go. Put it in gear. I'll make this one artist proof, A proof paper maker. And sign it. Here we have a little scene called Paper Maker, and there's a little person there. There's their head, there's their long hair blowing in the wind. They're holding a Mould and Deckle, and this is the vat. And here's the tree of life. These are big river shapes here on either side. Here's a little trumpet. It's like the voice of God. Sometimes in medieval art there's a little finger pointing down there. And it's got one S, which means one share. And sometimes we sell these little prints and we make enough to make another Hollander beater. So there it is. Paper maker.